holidays from Frontline Football. Oh my. Whew. I missed the jump there. Happy holidays from Frontline Football. Welcome to Frontline Football, your one and only place for the news, rumors, updates, and highlights. And roll the intro.
Guys, to Frontline Football. I'm Zach, and we're going to start out with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be Week 14, and I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
Okay, this week I have the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Minnesota Vikings. No team should ever be given a win after you lose to the Detroit Lions. Now, of course, the tragedy did happen at Oxford High School. We pray for the families that they can grieve in peace with that. But that still doesn't give you an excuse to lose to the Detroit Lions. You need to win your games, especially if you're a playoff team. You can't lose to Detroit of all teams. Okay. So, give me the Steelers here. They actually looked good, unlike the Minnesota Vikings. Zach?
I had the Vikings here. Now, Josh does bring up a solid point that they lost to the Vikings, but the Steelers would have lost. The Vikings lost to the Lions, but the Steelers would have also almost lost to the Lions if there was no ties in the league. So these teams are not very impressive against the Lions. And I feel like the Vikings have a better team than the Steelers, and sure, TJ Watt is good, but I don't think he can play everywhere on that defense. So, yeah. Jack?
I also have to go with the Vikings here. Now, I understand the Vikings did lose to the Lions, but that's kind of the Vikings thing. They've played down to the Lions in their last match where Kirk Cousins had to go save the day in a game-winning drive. They have issues with the Lions specifically. But my other issue is with the Steelers. That wasn't very impressive. I mean, the Ravens had it for most of the game, and then Marlon Humphrey went down. Big Ben gets a nice shot to Deontay Johnson, and the Ravens go for two for no reason and lose themselves the game. That wasn't much of a statement win if you ask me. I think here on Thursday Night Football in Minnesota, the Vikings are going to try to get back on track, and they're going to get the win here over the Steelers.
All right, cool. Our next matchup is a really good one. It's going to be the New Orleans Saints versus the New York Jets. Jack?
I'm going to go with the Saints here. Now, I'm going to be at this game, and I don't lose when I go to the Jets games, but I just don't trust the Jets defense. It's my main issue. Taysom Hill did a lot of running, and the Jets have a lot of issues when people start to run a lot, and they could potentially be getting Kamara back on top of it. I think the Saints are going to win in a close and ugly game for the most part, with Taysom Hill throwing a couple picks but running for like 2 rushing touchdowns or something, and the Saints defense doing enough to get the job done. So ultimately, I'll take the Saints in an ugly game. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I got the Jets. Your curse is always elite. And yeah, it took down a lot of great teams. And if you just got season tickets, the Jets would always have at least 8 to 9 wins. So I have the Jets winning here just because Jack's going to the game. And it would be nice to see your team win, right, Jack?
Yes.
Exactly. Josh?
I am going with the New York Jets here. The Jack curse is too powerful to be stopped. And this is not even a stroke of luck here. He is 4-0 whenever he goes to see them. He went to go see the Jets versus the Broncos. They got their first ever win there. And he's been to multiple other games that I can't think of right now. I know that one of them was right before the NBA season was canceled. The Knicks versus the Rockets. The Rockets were on a winning streak, and the Knicks beat the Rockets. So the Jack curse is nothing to laugh about because it is actually real. So, give me the New York Jets winning this game here.
All right. Our next matchup is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Houston Texans. Josh?
I feel like the Seahawks could actually lose this game and the Texans could win. But after last week where we lost 31-0, and we're going to have the GOAT himself, Mr. Rookie of the Year, Davis Mills, starting, I got to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Russ, all he needs to do is just put the microwave on and turn some buttons and then cook the food. That's all he has to do with the Texans. He doesn't have to make a gourmet meal. He just has to turn the microwave on and he'll beat the Texans. We are tanking. I want Hutchinson or Thibodeau, or I want to trade down for a quarterback. Those are the three options that I want right now for the Texans. And we're looking like we're probably going to get the second or third pick of this draft. So give me the Seattle Seahawks here. Zach?
The Seahawks here too. Russ is actually might be back. In this like really good form. He took a little bit of time because he needs to get used to being back. But I think Russ is finally back, and I think he's gonna really destroy the Texans. Jack.
I also have to take the Seahawks here. As much as it pains me for the Seahawks to win games because we have their draft pick, I wouldn't say necessarily on the rise, but they were able to beat the 49ers last week with some okay defensive play. Not great against George Kittle, but they did enough defensively and offensively to get the job done here. And ultimately, I think they're going to continue that. I think Russ is going to get better and better each week as he gets healthier and healthier, closer to 100%. I think he'll get the win here in Houston.
All right, our next matchup is the Detroit Lions versus the Denver Broncos. Jack?
I have to go with the Broncos here. Now, I understand, it was pretty cool that the Lions got their first win last week, and I'm happy they were able to do it and not have to worry about going winless anymore. But when I watch the Broncos, I see one guy, Javonte Williams is his name. He's really good. He gets a lot of all-purpose yards. He catches the ball. He runs the ball. He makes the people miss when he catches and runs the ball. And ultimately, I think the Broncos are going to try to center their offense around him this week, and I think it will be enough to get the win over the Lions in the Mile High Stadium. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I know this may be controversial, but I have the Detroit Lions winning this game. I think that the Broncos are too inconsistent. And just like Jack says, I don't pick the Broncos either unless it's an easy opponent. And Detroit is coming off a win with kneecap man Dan Campbell, the greatest coach of all time. So we are going to say that the Denver Broncos are winning here because, yeah, they're winning because the Detroit Lions are the greatest team ever assembled with Dan Campbell at the helm. Zach?
I think this is kind of easy, but at the same time difficult. They're very similar teams. They're both very inconsistent. One of them has really good talent. The other one has really bad talent. And I have the Denver Broncos beating the Detroit Lions. Like Jack said, it was a nice first win, but I can't see the Lions beating the Broncos. The Broncos need to keep up in this playoff race that is getting tighter and tighter every week. And really close. If they win here, I think that they're going to be the 9th seed. So they just need to beat out 2 more teams to make this playoffs. And those 2 teams are the Colts with Jonathan Taylor and the Bills. So the Broncos need to keep up and just keep trucking along. So, yeah. Or they need the Chargers to drop a game. So, yeah. Alright. Our next matchup is the LA Chargers versus the New York Giants. I'm going to hand this one off to... Who did I hand it off to? Oh, Josh.
Okay, so for this game, I got to go with the LA Chargers. They're coming off of a good win against the Cincinnati Bengals. And let's see, I believe that the Giants are starting Mike Glennon as their starting quarterback. So, yeah, give me the Chargers here. Jack?
I'm also taking the Chargers here. I'm very nervous for the Giants. Mike Glennon could have a concussion. I think we'll figure it out later on the week. And if Mike Glennon has a concussion, that means we'll be seeing the great Jake Fromm. Yep, that's his name. The guy from Georgia a couple years ago. And ultimately, the Giants, I don't even know. I don't know. Their defense is pretty good, but their offense is very bad. Saquon is the only person that does anything. Kenny Golladay hasn't done much. Ultimately, Chargers, home field, started a winning streak last week against the Bengals. I think the Giants will have a lot of trouble no matter who's quarterbacking, whether that's Mike Glennon, Jake Fromm. I think ultimately the Chargers win either way. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Chargers also. I mean, it was a very impressive win against Cincinnati. And yeah, I think that if they can keep this consistency going into the playoffs, they could really be looking at a Super Bowl to maybe even a conference championship. So I have the Chargers winning here. Our next matchup is going to be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to start this one off. This is if Joe Burrow is not Joe Burrow. If Joe Mixon is healthy, the Bengals will win here, and I believe that Joe Mixon will be healthy. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals beating the San Francisco 49ers. There's a lot of things to like about both these teams. The defense on the Niners looked pretty decent. The offense on the Bengals, sometimes they get cold, but when they're on, they are on. And their defense can get a few key stops to have the Bengals win a couple games too. So I have the Cincinnati Bengals beating the San Francisco 49ers. Heck.
I also have to go Bengals here. Now, I understand the Bengals lost to the Chargers, but I think they could have been in this game if a couple different things. They missed a couple big plays with Burrow and Chase, and I think ultimately it derailed them. But the Niners have some issues to work out. One, they lost to the Seahawks and made their defense look competent, which is already concerning enough if you're a Niners fan. But the other issue is Deebo Samuel. He's still a bit of an uncertainty if he'll play or not. If he's healthy, I think the Niners got a good chance, but if he's not 100%, I think the Bengals will be able to win this one because of the Niners' struggles and inconsistency. Bengals win this one, bouncing back on their home court. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Cincinnati Bengals. The 49ers are just in a tailspin right now, and it doesn't look like they're going to be stopped anytime soon, especially with Deebo Samuel, like you have just mentioned. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals here.
All right, our next matchup is the Buffalo Bills versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jack.
I'm taking the Bucs here. I've had enough of Buffalo's shenanigans as of late. Not very happy with whatever that was supposed to be. Mac Jones threw 3 passes, and you lost. That means they clearly can't stop the run, and with Leonard Fournette on the rise the last couple weeks, that's a pretty big mismatch to look out for. Not to mention, still no Tre'Davious White, meaning the Bucs wide receiver core will have an easier time with the Bills secondary. So ultimately, the Bills are pretty inconsistent, and they've been kind of disappointing with New England taking the division. I think the strong Bucs defense and running game led by Leonard Fournette is going to take the Bucs to a win here. I'm taking the Bucs. What are your thoughts, Zach?
This is a hard one because the Bills can turn it around anytime, anywhere. I believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be marking on 10 wins with this win against Buffalo. Josh?
I have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also. They have a very tight division race for the first seed with the Cardinals, Packers, and I believe there's one other team in it. And so those teams are really in a very tight race for the number 1 seed, and the Bucs got to keep up. And after the Bills last week, where Sean McDermott said they explained the reason why he was out by Bill Belichick, and the defense walking out of the press conference just isn't a good look for the defense or the team in general. So they're way too inconsistent for me to choose, especially when they can't even handle it in their home stadium. And with Fournette coming to town and all these other people, I don't think that they will even... I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be within 2 scores, but it's not going to look good because they can't stop the run. And also, Brady is known for beating the Bills. So, yeah, that too. So, give me the Buffalo Bills here.
All right, our next matchup is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
Baltimore Ravens versus Cleveland Browns. Well, both teams are very inconsistent. I think I got to go with the Cleveland Browns here. It will not be a good win, but it'll be a scrappy one. So, the Ravens, they've kind of been really plagued by injuries, is how I'm going to put it. And the Browns, they've been inconsistent, but they've just done that at their own doing. They just seem to like to shoot themselves in the foot. So, give me the Browns winning here, and I'm going to hand this off to Jack.
I'm also going to have to go with the Browns here. One main reason is bye week. They're coming off a bye week. This means they get to get rested. They're going to get a little healthier than they were before. Maybe Kareem Hunt, probably Nick Chubb. And ultimately, I'm going to be honest, it's a miracle the Ravens have gotten this far. Record-wise, with all the stuff that's been happening, add on Marlon Humphrey's now done for the year. There goes both starting cornerbacks, Marcus Peters and Humphrey. And ultimately, the Browns are going to be looking for an opening here. I think they're going to take it, led by a strong run game, and I think they'll be able to take advantage of the Ravens' undermanned secondary this week and get the win. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here. I understand, but they got Lamar Jackson. They got a lot of great pieces on that team still, and I feel like they still need to keep up in this first seed race with the Patriots and Titans, kind of. I guess the Chargers, too. So all the AFC they need to keep up with for this first seed, and they were really close on getting it. If the Patriots just drop a game next week, they get the first seed and they win their game. They get the... So, yeah, they need to keep up. They need to beat the Browns. I understand the Browns came off a bye, but the Ravens, if Mark Andrews makes that catch, and was it overtime or was it fourth quarter? If he makes it in the fourth quarter and he makes that 2-point conversion catch, they win the game. So he didn't, and now we're sitting at 8-4, and now they're 9-4 because of me. So. All right, our next matchup is the Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to hand this one off to, I think, Jack. Yeah.
I'm going to take the Chiefs here. Now, I understand it's normally Raider tradition to go get one upset in Arrowhead, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. The Raiders lost an ugly one in Washington. They weren't able to do much for most of the game. Defense kept them in. I think if you're the Chiefs, the number one seed is open. You're alive. You struggled at first, but you're here now. You're on top of your division. The race is tight. You can still catch New England. I think that they'll get one step closer to that this week. I'm taking the Chiefs. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I am going to have to say, go Raiders, because I think that the Black Hole this week is going to put it all together, and they are going to have another fluke win, and they are going to upset KC, and they are going to push them one game back from the first seed. Zach?
I would go Raiders, but I can't trust their team right now. I usually don't, so I'm going to go with Chiefs. I think that they have been more complete over time. I think it was just beginning. I think that they were just having a little bit of struggles, especially after the Super Bowl. I think they turned it around after their... I think they're going to turn it around after their bye week. They beat their first team. Really remember who it was. If they did beat them, I feel like they can beat a lot of great teams. So I have to have them beat a bad team, which is the Raiders. So Chiefs. All right, our next matchup is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
Give me the Tennessee Titans here. After that embarrassing in-division loss to Houston, I think that the Titans are going to have to rebound, and what's a better game to rebound in than the worst team in the AFC South in the Jacksonville Jaguars? So, I'm going to say give me the Tennessee Titans here. Jack?
I also have to take the Titans here. Now, the Jags, they haven't been that good. Their last win was 6-9 against the Bills, which was just a weird week. Very weird week. Titans are coming off a bye. They're getting a little healthier. They're going to finally have one of their started receiver duo back in Julio Jones. And ultimately, I think the Titans will win a boring, sloppy game of football here. They'll get the win at home. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Also have the Tennessee Titans here. Even with no Derrick Henry, they still might get Julio Jones back, like Jack said. So the Titans have a better shot at winning this than usual because most of their guys are coming back, and Jags really don't got anybody except for Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, a couple other pieces on that team like James Robinson. I think I named off all of their star players. So, yeah, I have Titans here. So, yeah. Alright, our next matchup is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Football Team. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
I guess I'll take Dallas here. Washington's been hot down the stretch lately. They've been pretty good. Defense is finally doing what they were supposed to do from day one without Chase Young, which is weird. But Dallas is just doing it a little better. They haven't been great necessarily, but they played on Thursday. They're getting healthier. They may get Cooper back this week, or they may have already had him back. I don't remember which receivers they got back against the Saints. But either way, they're all getting healthier. They're getting their head coach back. They need some rhythm and momentum. I think here they're going to lock up the NFC East by pushing Washington down and getting a major divisional win here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I feel like this is one of the key games for the Cowboys, so I'm going to have to give it to the Cowboys here because they're just getting so many of their pieces back and they're starting to be healthy. Well, I do think that the defense will be showing us what they've been showing us the last couple of weeks and what they should have been showing us all season, what everybody predicted that they would do. I think that now they're putting it all together without Chase Young. It's going to be a good defensive battle here. Zach?
I have the football team, even with CD Lamb coming back, I don't believe that I think CD Lamb's coming back. It's either him, Gallup, or Cooper. One of those wide receivers is coming back this week. Even with that, I still believe the Washington football team will get the win here because they've been playing really good football lately. I guess the big win was Seattle, which was, sure, but they've been playing really solid football against the Raiders, Seahawks. I think that they can do it against the Cowboys. All right, our next matchup is the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna hand this one off to Josh.
I gotta go with the Carolina Panthers here because you don't choose the Falcons. The Falcons are too busy losing games to even be considered for a win. Excuse me. So I gotta go with the Carolina Panthers here. Well, they did fire their offensive coordinator. I still believe that with Atlanta, they will win this game, and it will be probably 2 or 3 scores that they're going to win by. So I'm getting this one off to Zach.
These guys are very even in talent, in my opinion. A lot of great pieces on both these teams, and they probably both should have been in playoffs if they played up to their potential. But they are not, and they are both the 10th and 11th seed in the NFC. So that tells you something about these teams. And I have the Atlanta Falcons beating the Carolina Panthers. I think that Cordell Patterson will carry this team to this win. So, yeah. Jack?
I also have to go with the Falcons here. Now, to be honest, both these teams are pretty much total messes. The Falcons stopped scoring for a month for some reason until they got Cordell Patterson back, which is weird to rely on Cordell Patterson. He's good, but he shouldn't be your sole offensive contributor. But the Panthers are just slightly more of a mess as of late, firing their offensive coordinator. Their receiver, specifically Robbie Anderson, has been disappointing. I don't know who's going to be quarterback this week. Cam got benched for P.J. Walker after a disastrous game against Miami. Sam Darnold is gone. I don't know where Sam Darnold went either. He went to the IR a couple weeks ago, and he's yet to come back. But overall, messy game, but the Falcons will get it done here. They'll get a win.
Right, our next matchup is the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
I'm taking the Packers here. Not only are they coming off a bye week, they're going to get a healthier version of Aaron Jones than what they did the last week because he went through playing with an injury. Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, and the Bears, they're messy right now. I understand they had the Detroit win on Thanksgiving, but they got destroyed by the Cardinals for the most part. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go do the exact same thing that the Cardinals did last week. He's going to copy their blueprint and probably destroy the Bears again. What are your thoughts, Zach?
The Packers here. I think that the Packers are a very good team, and they've really shown it in their game. They beat the Cardinals, which were undefeated. There's a lot of great teams that they have faced and beat, like the Rams, and they have a bye week this week. And the Bears got destroyed by the Cardinals. The Cardinals and the Packers are very even in skill. I believe that the Packers will destroy at Lambeau Field. Josh.
I gotta go with the Packers. The Bears are way too dysfunctional with everything that has been happening, with Fields having no line, with Dalton being, well, Andy Dalton, and just everything going wrong that could have gone wrong, did go wrong this season. And the Packers are just a well-oiled machine that's probably going to lose in the NFC. So give me the Green Bay Packers here.
Right. Our final matchup of this video is another great matchup for Monday night, and it's going to be the Arizona Cardinals versus LA Rams. This is one of the best matchups, and I'm going to take this one. Now, the news I'm going to say is it's a rumor, but he won't be coming back this week. There's a rumor that J.J. Watt might come back during our playoff run. That's a little different. No, it's a little off topic, but with that, I have the Arizona Cardinals beating the LA Rams. Kyler Murray is back in this MVP race, and he showed it against the Bears. He had 6 touchdowns in total that game, 2 rushing and 4 passing. Threw for 125 yards. He was really everywhere. And James Conner did really well. D-Hop is back, and he's doing really well. This team is starting to get healthy, and they had their little injury problem before the playoffs, which is so nice because now all of our guys are coming back. They're healthy, and I feel like the Cardinals could make a really deep run in this playoffs. And the first thing that they have to do is sweep the Rams. All right, Jack.
I went with the Rams last time. I won't make that mistake again. I'm picking the Cardinals. Mainly because the Cardinals have been really good. Even without Kyler Murray, now that he's back, he looked really good in his return, like Zach said. And ultimately, I still don't trust the Rams. I mean, they blew out the Jaguars. That's cool, I guess. But, that's not much of an accomplishment, necessarily. That's not much of a statement win to assert yourself back in the NFC West title race. So, I think the Cardinals will get it done here. They will sweep the Rams for the first time in a while, and that will be the end of the Rams' hopes of taking the NFC West away. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Los Angeles Rams, even though that they did compete in. The NFC West is just a very competitive division, and I think that the teams are going to split. So the Cardinals did win the first game, so I gotta go.
Okay. He's done with his take, I guess.
I'm
Josh, you
done.
good?
Yeah, I'm good.
That does it for our video today. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you disliked it, I think that they're starting to remove dislikes. So if you dislike it, dislike the video if it's still there. And I gotta say one thing. Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FrontlineFB, right wherever I put it, as I always do, right there. We hope you enjoyed this week's episodes of predictions, and we'll be back here next week for more.